So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble!
What's going on, people? Welcome back to the No Strings podcast. My name is Kojo Anim, and on this episode I have another special guest joining me. All my guests are going to be people who are actually in my contact list in my phone book, and this is a very, very good friend of mine. Somebody that used to work with me, helped me out in my career, but has gone on to really connect some amazing people. And we're going to have a conversation with her today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the No Strings podcast, Miss Siobhan Copland.
Thank you so much.
How are you, babe?
It's so nice to be here.
Oh, how you been?
Yeah,
Good?
I've been great. Thank you. Yeah, you too. Looking very
Thank you very much. Soap and water goes a long way. We've been friends for many, many years. Before we even get anywhere near what you're doing now, how long do you think we've known each other?
Yeah, I was just literally trying to do the maths in my head. Yeah, I reckon since about 2007.
I feel like we started talking when you was in Dubai.
Before.
Was it before?
Maybe no, because it wouldn't have been that we'd have like met each other.
Yeah, we didn't met. We spoke.
Yeah, well, I moved out to Dubai in 2007.
Yeah, right, okay.
So did I know you before? Did you know that I was moving to Dubai?
I think it was towards the end of you being there.
Yeah.
And then you came back, and then that's when we started working together.
Yeah. So at least 15 years, right?
Cool. Well, today you are a dating coach. You are also a what's the other word?
Matchmaker.
And you are connecting hearts.
I am.
Yeah? You are connecting hearts. But I kind of want to go back to talk a bit more about you, first of all. What is your background? Like, where are you from? Where is Siobhan from?
Well, coming back to East London today, things look very different than when I grew up around here. So yeah, East London girl, born and bred, East Ham. It was kind of an interesting
childhood.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
What was childhood like?
Well, actually, tell a lie. I first lived in North Woolwich. Near Tate and Lyle factory when I was a baby, and then moved to East Ham when I was about 3 or 4. My mum and dad broke up at that time, so then I was sort of brought up by my mum.
What did your dad do?
So my dad, sort of interesting one. I think even then he was doing that, but he's done a bit of advertising work and stuff, but then he got into the music business. Right. So he was doing quite well in the music business.
Was he an artist? Was he
songwriter, producer, nice. But also part of an act. So he was kind of like, there are some videos on YouTube of him, which are, quite good to look back on.
What memories do you have of him doing music as a girl?
You know, honestly, all I do remember is my mum always saying, like, all he cares about is his synthesizers. He was in the studio a lot. He was on his synthesizers a lot. He's always been a hobbyist, I would say. So whatever he's got an interest in, he's like obsessed with, you know. So, and I'm a bit like that as well, to be fair. Like if I put my mind to something, that's it. It's a complete obsession. It's like, I don't do things in halves. I just remember fun things like he was on tour with Eternal. He was like their keyboard player. And I remember him bringing me like cassettes home with all the recordings, all the instrumentals of all their songs. And then I would like sing along to them, pretend that I'm a singer, like when I was little. And he would always like, just bring me music, because he'd kind of get through, he had like a publishing deal or whatever, so through the publishing companies, like I remember getting even Jill Scott's I Am Jill Scott album, like before early. That came out, and that was just amazing.
Little perks.
Yeah.
Did he ever encourage you to get into music at all? Is that something that you want for you?
Do you know what? I remember, I don't know why vividly it stands out in my head, because he did used to get me in the studio and do recordings, and me and my like best friend when I was about 8, I remember we kind of formed our own little duo of a group, and I called it Essential, but it was like SN Shawl, right? And I can still find the song lyrics, actually. And the song was pretty good for a 9-year-old, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I did think we could have been the next Destiny's Child, but
it
wasn't meant to be. We used to do a lot of school assemblies, lots of singing and dancing. So I always had that confidence and stage sort of confidence from a young age. And I think I got that from him. But I do remember him saying when he got me in the studio once, when I was about 9, that my voice was a little bit like a lamb. It was a bit like that shaky kind of thing, and I think that put me off a little bit. I was like, maybe
Lambs
I don't have the voice for it.
We season up the lamb. That's what we do.
So yeah, I don't think he was trying to push me too much that direction. Maybe he didn't think, but he has always said that I'm a good writer and that I should get into songwriting. So he's tried to encourage me that way.
That's where the money is, man, especially nowadays.
Yeah, and I do have some regrets about not pursuing that in a way, because I actually do genuinely think I've had some really good songs. Like, I remember once I wrote this song and Alicia Keys then came out with, you know, that one where it's like, I'm not going to sing it, you know, I Ain't Got You. The song that I wrote was almost... Yeah, that's how I would have sounded. That's how it would have sounded, yeah. Like yodeling on top of the mountains or something. But so when that came out, and I was living in Dubai actually, and I thought, wow, that sounds so similar to the song that I wrote, even the melody, the words. But, you know, it's never too late.
Not in writing, man. Absolutely not. Okay, so you said you raised in East Ham, just you and your mum, I'm guessing, most of the time.
Yep, I'm an only child, so just
only child as well, no siblings?
No.
So how was your mother? Like, after obviously your dad and your mum split, how was your mother? Do you remember how she was around that time of the split?
Yeah, I just have a very vivid memory of, we lived in a house that was like 3 stories high, and I think her bedroom was in like the loft room, and I remember she was always good at doing decorating. She always loved to redecorate. Like every year she would redecorate the whole house. It was her way of, I don't know, her creative expression, I guess, and she's very good at it. But I remember when she was going up the stairs, putting her bed up into her room, and she'd be like pushing the mattress up the stairway, and I remember her just like breaking down crying. I don't know why that's such a vivid memory of like the literal struggle of her trying to get this mattress up by herself. I'm like 3-4 years old, I can't do anything. And I just do remember that there was definitely a lot of sadness. There was a lot of playing songs,
sad songs, happy songs.
So one of the songs that she kind of made into our anthem was The Only Way Is Up.
What, with the bed?
Yeah, exactly. You know, because I think they play that on like Towie now, don't they, or something? It's like,
I'm sure, yeah.
So yeah,
it
is a classic, to be fair. And she'd always be that, and she's like, yeah, it's just you and me now, like, and that would be our kind of like power song. But I think there was a lot of sadness about, and she took, I'll be honest, like, she's not going to like this watching this, but she did take a long time to get over my dad. There was never another man. That I'd never ever, she didn't date anybody else, so it was literally just me and her.
That's interesting. So the fact that there was no one else, there was no stepdad, no nothing, just you and her, would you attribute that to a lack of trust in men, or loss of faith, or she just think that that's kind of where she got her strength?
Yeah, I never really felt that I didn't trust men as such at the time that I was aware of, but I definitely think that has...
No, I'm talking in terms of your mum.
Oh, that she didn't?
Yeah.
I think there was a few things. One was, I think she was very nervous to bring another man around me, and then I guess it not work out, or maybe another man not accepting me. I think...
Or the wrong man in general.
Yeah, and I think there's something to acknowledge as well, which I always kind of... getting older sort of recognise, is at the end of the day, she's raising a black child. She's a white woman. And if she gets with another guy, might be a white guy, is he going to want to bring up a black child? Like, you know? So there's that, I think. But then the biggest reason, and even now she almost has regrets about this, is my upbringing was very strict because it was very religious. My mum joined the Jehovah's Witnesses religion. So our lives were very much all about like Tuesday, Thursday was meetings, Sundays was meetings, Saturday I'm knocking on doors by like 5 years old preaching. Yeah, so that was my life for a long time. And once again, I think...
Tell by the blazer, I should have known. You always had a long coat or a blazer.
I've always been a saleswoman.
Got us hiding in our house. We got the message last week. We're not in.
Oh, don't. And you know what? I feel every time I tell anyone Jehovah's Witness, they're always like, oh yeah, I've always been hiding from them. And it's like...
All right, let me see your knuckles. Yeah.
But you know what? People used to answer the door to me. I used to do quite well.
You're probably the cute baby that girl has to open the door. Hi,
yeah. I think they felt bad to say no to me because I was like right at the front, like knock on the door. Hi, so can I just share with you our magazine? And they'd give me a little contribution. But yeah, so because of that, and with the religion aspect of like no sex before marriage and all of that, it's like what man in the congregation? Most of them were married, and the whole thing about the Jehovah's Witness thing is it's very like. You can't bring in people from the outside. So the only options you've got to date are men in the congregation. Right. There were no men in the congregation that were available to date, which meant that, yeah, there were no options for her for a very long time.
So I guess she kind of stayed true to the faith and the rules, I guess, of her religion. And
until she rebelled and became a lesbian.
Okay, hold on. Whoa. You just took a sharp left. So she rebelled before or whilst she was in the... So
this happened, she decided to be in a relationship with a woman when I was about 20, so long time on her own. And then she found someone that, you know, I don't think she ever really thought that she saw herself in a different sexuality other than heterosexual up until that point. There may have been moments in her life where she questioned things, but it wasn't something that she was really holding back. I think her desire was to have a big family with a man. Like, that was her biggest regret. She was like, I didn't want you to be an only child. I would have had 6 kids. Like, that's what I wanted.
How long were they together for?
They're still together.
No, in terms of your mum and your dad?
10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but together from like teenagers, like 13, I think she was when she got with him. Mm-hmm. So broke up with him when she was early 20s. So... Yeah, really young.
Did your dad date again? Did your dad...
Has my dad dated again? Has he ever not dated?
So what was it like for him? I mean, did you have a relationship when he left? Straight away?
Oh gosh, yeah. He
was always around and you saw him. Okay, so what was it? What was it like? What was he like by himself, away from your mum?
He wasn't by himself.
I mean, away from your mum, yeah.
It didn't take him long to get into a new relationship. So he was in a relationship with a singer in the band that he was in. So they obviously had that connection where they kind of worked together, and then that was a very easy relationship. So, and they stayed together for 7 years after that. And so that was another talking point. You know, my mum would always feel like he left her for the singer, you know. So I think she also resented him doing his music and all of that. And he would say that was the reason they even broke up, was because his song came on the radio and I think she switched it off. So he was like, I can't be with someone who doesn't support me, who's not proud of me and things that I want to accomplish, because I want to accomplish them for the family. But I think she saw it as, you know, actually his music was more important than the family. And this was where the issues always came up.
I think sometimes as well, even myself, I've been in situations sometimes where it's, when you date someone that's not in your field, it, you know, especially the creative side, it looks so much fun.
Yeah.
Right? If you've got a regular job and then you see somebody on stage with a microphone going like this or whatever, or telling jokes or dancing or whatever, to you, it's a good time they're having. You know, they're not, you being away is you're having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not taking care of your family, not being around, not helping me, right? But they don't understand that. Whilst you're there doing all this, sometimes you don't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may not be in a mood to entertain. Sometimes, no matter what you do that you earn money from, it will feel like work.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lack of understanding sometimes, when people date people like myself. It just seems like, oh, you lot just have a good time because you go to a premiere or you go to a screening and it's all whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop.
It's not really work.
Yeah, exactly. But anything you earn income from is work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and I think nowadays we've got out of the whole idea of work is, you know, wearing a uniform or wearing a suit and a blazer or whatever, and you're going and you're going to the office. You know what I mean? Like, people work from all over. People work from home. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all broad. It's all open now. And I think, you know, I don't know your dad. I don't know your mum. But like, well, I met your dad, and I think I met your mum. But it's understanding your dad a little bit of. It's very difficult when you know why you're doing this, and your why doesn't understand.
Yes. Oh, that's a powerful point.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing this for you, but like, you don't understand. And there's only so long I can continue doing this with a smile on my face if the why I'm doing it doesn't understand, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the fact that your dad was still around and still, you know, partaking in your life, because, you know, I love how you lot's relationship is now. But like, but that shows you that you still had love for your mum.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? By being responsible, still handling it. There's still love there for your mum, because we always hear stories about, oh, my dad just left, and a lot of the time it's not because they ain't got no problem with the child. Very rarely do they have a problem with the child. Yeah. It's because the love for the mother is not there no more. So the fact that he stuck around and, you know, did his responsibilities to his best of his abilities, it means still he just cared about your mum still.
Oh yeah, to this day, you know, he still says the deep love that he has for my mum. And even sometimes he'll be like, you know, in an ideal world, it would have been lovely for me and your mum to work out. Like, that would have been his fairy tale, like, to just be with that person because he always says, you know, we had amazing chemistry and all this. And it's like, okay. And he even says he's struggled to find that chemistry since, you know. So he's very open with me about that, good. Which is nice. And it's quite comforting. And, you know, there are times when I've sort of thought, yeah, it would be nice. My parents would have been together. And you do kind of mourn that loss a little bit, especially because they're both in your life. And then there are times when you see that they're both lonely and you just think, why can't you both just be together? And this would fix it, you know? But it's, you know, it hasn't worked out that way. And
so in terms of yourself, like the you know, your parents being split up, how did that impact you when it comes to like your own choices in terms of dating, in terms of what you wanted for yourself? Did you want a family? What was kind of going through your mind? Maybe like 18, 19, around that age?
So I think by 18, I already had my first serious relationship. I'd moved out of home when I was 17. My mum wanted me out at 17. So
what did you do?
She says I didn't listen. Okay. And again, my dad will always phone me and be like, You're an ideal child. I just don't see what your mum thought you were so bad about. Like, but I think
when you moved out, where did you move to?
Plaistow.
So down the road.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
But that's the only place I could get a place.
No, but you know what's funny? Yeah, well, women say, I need to leave. This woman's crazy. Whatever. 2 women live in the house. You know, always move down the road. Because you want your mum's washing machine. That's what it is.
No, I really didn't. I didn't go back for anything, I'll be honest. Do you know what? My hairdresser today, I got my hair done especially for today.
Come on.
She said to me, like, she's moved out of her boyfriend. I was like, oh, where to? She's like, 5 minutes down the road. I was like, that's perfect. Do you know that? I'd actually like my kids to live close by. Because I said that to Colin the other day. I was like, when they grow up and they move out, I'm going to really miss them.
Yeah, of course.
So I do want them to be close. And I think in other parts of the world, a lot of families do live close proximity. I don't know why in this society we really normalise this kind of like, you know, leave home. Go out there in a big wide world and like be on your own, be independent. It's really hard to be completely independent. Like, we should be able to still depend on each other and those, you know, the units that we've created as a family.
So how did all of this impact your dating choices?
Yeah.
And the kind of boys or men that you was attracting?
I went for a lot of guys in entertainment. Like, I say a lot, I didn't have many, but I was attracted to guys in entertainment. So I dated the rappers, I dated the R&B singer, 2 rappers, 1 R&B singer. And so I was attracted to people that were kind of in the music sort of scene. And I don't know if that was intentional, but that tended to be, maybe, yeah. So there was that kind of early on. My first kind of boyfriendish, was a rapper at like 16.
What was it? What was it about rappers? Because I think that for most girls, it's like a music artist is like heavenly. You know what I mean? What do you think it is about a rapper or a musician, a singer, that just gets girls excited?
Yeah, good question. I think it's the confidence. One thing is definitely they have that confidence. The other thing is a talent, you know. I like a man that's talented, that's got some kind of talent and a passion. And I do find that they tend to be quite passionate about what it is that they're doing. So I think there's that really. And plus I love music. I'm just like a big music fan. So I really appreciate that. And I guess as well, because I have that in me to write songs and stuff. But I would connect with, you know, I remember like a guy who kind of sort of dated, but not, you know, I think more so we've stayed friends. But I remember I met him in London, but then he moved out to Dubai when I was living out in Dubai. And there was one night we were all out in a club, and then, you know, people go back for drinks, people's houses. What we ended up talking about was the poetry that we write. And we ended up going back to each other's house. All we did all night was share poetry. Like, so these are the things that I connect with, you know. Even Colin I'm with now, we got together through music. You know, through both being DJs. So it's like music has always been that thing that I've connected with in people. And that has been a bit of a pattern actually in my dating history.
So, okay, so you are a matchmaker.
Yeah.
And having traveled and been abroad, what was dating like, you know, like what was living in Dubai like? Because now, I think when you went over there, it wasn't like what it is now. You went kind of before
the hype.
Yeah, before it kind of like really was a thing. You know, in my head it was just desert, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what was Dubai like when you was living there?
Well, yeah, you're right. It was a desert. 90% of the place was under construction. And it was not really known. People didn't really know about the place at all. It was like,
how did it come across your radar?
Dubai, where's that? Like, do you know what? I was working for a company in Knightsbridge, and I don't know how it came on my email, this thing about developments going on in Dubai, and there was this whole like PowerPoint presentation on Dubai, and it was just saying, you know, the weather's great, it's tax-free, and da-da-da-da-da, and something in me just said, I'm so bored of this job, I just want to go there. It was really weird. I had no real connections to the place, like no one I knew had been there before. Obviously, again, girl from East Ham, like, who do I think I am going off to Dubai? Like, no one even believed me. Before I even got the job offer, I just started telling people when they catch up, oh, what are you up to? Oh, I'm moving to Dubai. They're like, really? Where's that? I said, oh, have you got a job out there? No, not yet, but I'm moving out there. And lo and behold, like the first job that I applied for, I got it. And that's sort of against all odds because they're quite strict. You have to have a university degree to get out there. I don't have a university degree. But somehow, the guy who interviewed me took a liking to me and he said, right, you've got the job.
She's cute. It's qualified over it.
She'll do. Got the gift of the gab, you know. So, yeah, I was out there.
That's the East Londoner thing, you know. The gift of the gab. East London and South Londoners, man. We know how to talk through anything.
Yeah.
So you went out there and what was it like? Like, did you build a community quickly? Was you dating out there? Like, how was that for you?
Yeah. So did make friends pretty quickly. The first month they put you up in a hotel, and then like, you know, the people that also working in the same company as me were staying in that same hotel block. So there was a few people there that I obviously got to know, all from the UK as well. So that was nice. And then I think because we were all out there for the first time on our own from UK, then, you know, we naturally sort of felt like, you know, we had to sort of, like family, exactly. And it was quite a party lifestyle, you know, very quickly I became friends with like the top promoters over there. And so I was getting invited out to all the club nights, of course, you know, free drinks all night. They were still bringing over like quite big acts and stuff. So like garage nights and stuff. So again, I'm like an old school garage girl.
Was Master Steps there around that time as well?
He didn't live there then.
Right, okay, but he'd come over.
Yeah, I think he came over maybe a couple of years after I left, but he was always out there playing as well, So yeah, it was quite a glamorous lifestyle. I'd say, you know, where I lived, I was on the 29th floor in the marina,
Jesus.
and, you know, had tennis courts and jacuzzi in my bathroom, and, you know, everything there.
Nothing like East Ham.
No, nothing like East Ham. I remember it's like literally I'd wake up in the morning, go for a swim in my pool, like before work. It was really nice, and I think it was, yeah, just a complete contrast to.
Did your parents come out there to visit you?
Yeah, they loved it, and I think they were actually really proud that I managed to do that, because it was a bit like my mum didn't understand why I was going out there, but at the time before I moved out there, I was actually quite depressed, and I think that going out there really helped me with that. You know, that change of environment.
Depressed because of what?
I don't know exactly what led to it. Throughout school and stuff, I got bullied quite a lot and getting rushed all the time by girls.
By girls?
Yeah.
What would you think would ignite it? Would it be jealousy? Would it be... what would it be? Honestly, what did you think it was?
My mum would always say, oh, they're jealous, but I really hate to even say anyone was jealous of me. It just makes me cringe inside to think that anyone would be jealous of me. But a lot of it was, when I got to about 13, I did start getting male attention. And it wasn't that I was looking for it. It just started coming. You know, first time I came back, before I had like my hair in a pineapple, all frizzy and just like no effort, come back, found lip gloss, found relaxing my hair, although I don't do that anymore. And I looked different, and I came back, and it's like, and I started to get a body, and you know, guys started to notice. And so I think that was part of it, where it was like some of the guys that were quite popular were sort of wanting to walk me home or whatever, and then there'd be some girls that would literally like walk and follow me all the way home and just start taunting me and just be, you know, I had girls writing slag in the toilets, and, you know, Siobhan's a slag, she's that and the other, starting rumours, saying that I'm sleeping with all these different boys, and it wasn't true, you know.
Can I just say,
I
miss the word slag.
You missed the word. Slag. It sounds like a very East London word as well.
Slag.
What a slag?
I mean, listen, I'm not advocating to call somebody
it's
that.
not. But we don't use that word anymore because we can't. Now it's just don't slut shame, isn't it?
Yeah, slut don't have the same shag.
It just rolls off your tongue a bit nicer, doesn't it? But yeah.
And you can't say, if you don't have a Cockney accent, you should never say it, because then it's offensive. So basically, you know, you was bullied, and I fully understand as a man, you know, in school, when you could see girls that hate on someone because they all of a sudden get attention. I remember there was a girl called Nadia. Nadia came to our school in year 9. And at this point, like, you know, the popular people are all like in their cliques and stuff. And then in walks this girl, and she was just like, all the boys were like, who's she?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mate, them girls gave that girl hell.
Yeah.
Hell, didn't know her, but she just took all of our attention, right? And then slowly but surely, she just became cool with the girls again. And I just think it's, you know, it's young, it's been competitive. It's not really knowing why you don't like somebody. It's just, you know, sometimes it's you know, it's just that new person, you know what I mean, that comes in and lightens everything up a little bit in the school. But not everybody likes that. So I can understand how that must have made you feel, especially having no siblings. You know what I mean? Like when you don't have no siblings, everything feels a bit heavier.
Very lonely time, because I would literally watch my friends walk away while groups of girls would just come and rush me, and then I'd be like, do I actually have any friends?
Wow.
Because they're literally leaving me to fend for myself when there's like 8 girls.
But they're probably afraid as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was.
Not, you know, that's the thing. Not everybody has the same heart. You know, it doesn't mean that they love you any less. It's just they probably feel helpless as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know? They were scared, and the girls that did target me were pretty tough girls as well. Like they were known to be like good fighters and stuff.
You can normally tell the girls that can fight. They've got one cane around.
One big. But I was getting it from the white girls, the black girls, the Asian girls, like everyone, you know. And I went to a big school. It's like 2,000 people. So if someone was coming to fight me, I'd just be like sitting down, and then all of a sudden there would just be like a rush of like hundreds of kids running towards, and you're like, what's going on? And next thing you know, oh, they're rushing over here because someone decided they want to start a fight with you.
When did that kind of phase out?
It really went on right up until my GCSEs, messed up my whole GCSEs. So I was actually seen as being quite bright, even though I don't see myself as being very academic. But before this, you know, I was predicted really good grades. And then it got to the point where I was bunking off school. I was just avoiding school. Then my mum was actually trying to pull me out of school altogether, didn't want me going back. It was just a very traumatic time, and it really messed up. And, you know, yeah, I failed my GCSEs because of it.
So you said that, so and this is the part of the bit where you just felt low.
Yeah.
And did this carry through to like college or like?
But this is what I'm saying. Even college, this is how it affected me.
At some point, it's you now. If you're telling me you got bullied in school,
no. No, I mean, what happened in college, it was so embarrassing, right? I got in for a course. I was doing media studies because I wanted to do all the photography, the videography, all of that, you know what it is. And I got in the course and then like moved down to Kent to live with my dad to go and start this new journey at college in Kent. And I think about a month into the course, they said, oh, actually, you don't have the right qualifications. You haven't got the good GCSEs. We're going to have to take you off the course. We've now gone and checked all your qualifications and you don't qualify. So I was literally not even able to do the course that I wanted to do. It's interesting you're not qualified to learn. Yeah. So that's what kind of knocks my confidence, these things, you know, because then you start to think like, what opportunities are there for me in life? Like, because I'm not able to take that route of education that I might have thought that I was going to take to give me more options. And so it's kind of, I knew in a way that I did want to be an entrepreneur from a young age, but it still wanted to have options. And I just felt I was in these jobs that I didn't really want to do because that were the only jobs that I could get because I wasn't qualified and I wasn't at uni. So I think that's where the Dubai thing was like, this is a great opportunity for me because I can feel a sense of accomplishment by doing this.
And sometimes, you got to remove yourself from an environment. You know, I love the quote where they say, you know, how much is a bottle of water? And then it's like, it depends where it's sitting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it depends where it is and the value is different, right? And I think sometimes, you know, you stay in a place and your value doesn't feel like it's being, you know, valuable. Then you move and it's like, oh my God, like I am worth something, I am talented, I am gifted, I can do all of these things. Now your confidence is coming up, do you know what I mean? That's not the same girl that got bullied, that's not the same girl that got rejected and all the other stuff. This person, you know, believes in themselves because you just changed your environment. And I think I met you when you came back from Dubai, and I remember we first met up and I was like, oh, this girl's warm. I remember you being warm, I remember you being friendly, and then you came and helped me out with the fun house and the comedy club. How was that for you, kind of coming back and then kind of being in my environment?
I was so grateful for that opportunity, honestly, because that was just such a, again, you know, without sounding like this depressed person, but actually when I came back from Dubai, I was also depressed again because it was a big come down, moving back in with my mum back from Dubai. And I didn't leave there on good circumstances. There was some bad stuff that happened to me out there. So when I came back, I was a bit lost again, and I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know why I feel even emotional now saying it.
Aww.
But yeah, so you really, as I said, what you've done for me in that time, you know, I'm really grateful.
I think, do you know what it is? I think, you know, even hearing your story now, a bit more, what I think you thrived and really helped me out was, you know, I was building something that I had no idea I was building. I had no idea, you know. But one thing it was a family environment. It was a fun environment. Like, you didn't have to think about what's going on outside of here. You know what I mean? Like, we come here every Sunday. We're, you know, booking comedians. We're putting on parties. We're doing events and all the other stuff. And I think it must have been a nice way for you to kind of get back. It was
therapeutic for me. It was actually therapeutic for me because you longers, that just made me feel so welcome and so like part of something. And I think that was it. I was looking for that sense of belonging to something again, and I didn't have that, and that was just, and obviously all the laughs, you know, and it's like, and the music,
everything,
the laughs and the music was just like so, and I had something to look forward to every week. Like, even if nothing much was going on in the week, I was like, I had that thing to do on a Sunday. I'm going to be hanging out with you guys. And it's always good vibes, good energy. Like, it was just amazing. And then on top of that, you planting that seed in my head about, you know, putting on the singles events.
Yeah.
This has led to everything I'm doing now. And if it wasn't for you making that suggestion and seeing that potential in me, or seeing something in me, I don't know what it was, but you saw something that maybe I didn't see.
I think, you know what it is? I think there's not many people like you who I don't like people. I think people are not good, yeah? So when I really meet someone who I really just feel like, I feel like if I can part any wisdom or if I can help in any way, be it small, big or whatever, I've got to believe that you're going to do something with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I got asthma. Yeah, I don't waste my breath.
Me too, I have asthma too.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, nah, them couple of little hairs I got left, you ain't about to waste that. And sometimes you'll be spending life trying to make someone believe in themselves that don't want to believe in themselves. And that used to be something that I would beat myself up about, and I stopped doing it.
Yeah, I've done a lot of that in my life too.
And you know, you're one of the people who I know just like helping, you like being of service. Those people are rare to me. In the core of you, just like being of service. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You've seen where people are falling, you feel like you can fit in, you know, that dating thing, it starts with just like singles event. It starts with just that. Then it grows into something else. I always felt like you would persevere it. You've gone to Dubai. Sometimes what God does here, God sends us on a journey, you know, and it's to qualify you for what your purpose is. But when you're going through the qualification, you get wounds along the way. You're gonna get wounds along the way. My pastor calls it receipts. We call them wounds, but they're actually receipts. Because when you end up getting to the purpose and the blessing, you got the receipts, the scars of the receipts. No, I've been through something, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I've been through something. You was around me, you saw kind of how I orchestrated what I got going on. So you saw the organization, you saw the community, you saw the people. You know how much people was coming through that comedy club every Sunday?
And such good people as well.
But all kind of people.
Yeah.
But the point is, it was like, we was all young, we was all kind of coming through, we were all trying to figure out life. But this was a beautiful space where people came and they connected.
You built a community with that. You really did.
But again, it's like, unintentionally.
Yeah.
I just want somebody to have a laugh every Sunday. Do you know what I mean? And I refused to see stuff on like Def Comedy Jam in America. We don't have anything like it. I wasn't gonna wait for TV to kind of tell us, yeah, you can. I found a little spot. It didn't feel like we was in the West End back then. It just felt like it was another club. Now it feels like the West End because of congestion charge and ULEZ and all this other stuff. It's a thing to go to the West End now. But back then, we had that freedom to just go up there. And so I didn't really know what I was doing, but I know now what was done, right? And I think your input in it, in terms of building the community, building the clientele, having a few words with people and saying, look, I'm starting this thing. You know, seeing you consistently do it. I remember when you know, creating a website. Do you know what I mean? And the logo, and this is what I'm going to call it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, boom, 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 and seeing you go. And I've not had to be around you all the time, but it's that consistency. Anything that you're consistent with, it's going to manifest into something beautiful. Do you know what I mean? And I think to see you sitting here today, having gone through everything that you've been through, to then still want to help others. That's what I'm talking about. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? People do these jobs because there's even comedy, because there's a check. I never knew that you got paid from comedy. Someone gave me £15 for the first time. I said, wait. 50? I get paid. I called everyone in my phone book. I lost my mind. Someone paid me to tell jokes. I got more of these. I got more of these. There's more coming. So it's that purity in just wanting to see people connect. Purity in just wanting people to laugh. You know, I've spoken to my aunt, and she, you know, speaking to her is genuinely like, I loved making people laugh when they came over to the house. That was in me. In school, I played football all the time, but everyone knew me as Kojo's funny. I've been funny from that. It's that purity. Sometimes, in this day and age, I feel like people are doing this because they can make money from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are making money, but they're not happy because they're not actually doing what comes natural to them. And I feel like with you connecting people, even if I see you out and about at that Shoreditch house or this house, whatever, you're working, you're constantly doing this, but this is something you've been doing this anyway. So I want to know a little bit more about where you've taken this now. And, I want to talk about the whole dating pool and what are your thoughts on the world we live in where you turn on your phone and everyone's got advice and everyone, I feel like we live in a society right now where being right is more important than having an experience.
That's interesting.
Like it's just, I feel like everyone's right in theory.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's right in theory, but I very rarely, I only connect with testimonies.
Yeah.
I only read autobiographies, for example. I don't read motivational books. That's clever words that someone's put together, and then for you to go, oh yeah, that's true, okay. Some of this is common sense, but it's not common for everybody, I get it. But for me, motivational books are like, okay. But when you hear someone's journey and they've walked into this situation and they've never thought they'd get out of that situation, and then they met this person along the way, that hits home.
That's inspiring, then, yeah.
That hits home. That's inspiration, not motivation. Motivation is, oh yeah, that's true. Inspiration gets you up. It gets you up immediately and says, no, I've got to do better now. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And so for me, it's like, seeing what you've done, how is your job today? People got dating apps. Everyone feels like they can just swipe left, swipe right. Do you know what I mean? Where does a matchmaker sit in today's world where access to people is so available? More than ever before?
Good question. I think that actually we are needed more than ever because of the culture that we've created from all of this, because of the way that people are not being treated like people anymore. It's just like disposable objects. Like a guy said to me, matchmaking consultation I had with a guy the other day, and again, he's like multi-millionaire, whatever, really successful, gorgeous looking guy. You should think he'd have his pick of women, but he's considering working with me because he can't find the woman with the qualities that he's looking for. And he was just like, I'm not gonna blow it and throw it like a vape. He was like, it's something like that, he said, because it's like, that's literally how he sees a lot of people are treating people. It's just like, yep, quick puff of that and gone, and I think that it's really impacting on people's mental health. There seems to be this, perception of so much choice out there, and it's really just skewing people's views of actually, but who's right for you? It's all being well. We're all going to see people that look impressive on paper. Oh, he's got this great job and he's 6'4" and he's, lives in Chelsea or Notting Hill, whatever. It's like, these are all very superficial things, but what are the chances that you're actually going to sit down and really connect with this person? And I think that's where a matchmaker comes in, because I'm interviewing people. I'm really getting to know them. I care about those deeper, meaningful questions that really help me to understand this person's values and, how they can align with someone in a partnership. This is not just about the superficial attraction aspect. This is about the deeper stuff that's going to mean that you're actually the glue that's going to stick you together. And I think that's what people are realising. There's no shortage of dates, but the idea of actually finding a partner, that's what everybody's struggling with right now. What
is a relationship?
For me, in short, it is really just caring for each other in the very simplest of terms. Like, again, talk about acts of service. For me, a relationship is an act of service. And that's where a lot of people don't agree with that now. It's almost like this selfish mentality of like, I'm not going to be of service, like, to somebody, but actually you're of service to each other. It's like, I shared this clip from the Cosbys from years ago when I remember she offered a cup of tea or something to the guest, and he was like, oh, I didn't think you were that kind of woman. What kind of woman? The kind that serves her man? Oh, really? Well, let me tell you something, right?
Yeah.
You know that
I serve
one?
him, he serves me.
Right.
Yep.
That is a relationship, you know?
Yep.
It's constantly thinking, how can you be of service to one another?
Output.
Yeah.
I've always said, if both people are waiting to receive, nobody gets anything.
Right.
If both people are waiting to serve, everybody gets what they need.
Yeah.
And if your first initial thing is to wait and to receive something before you give, then you're going to be waiting for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about meeting the person that you ultimately want to give to, right? What would you say are some of the main reasons why men are struggling? What do you think men are looking for that they can't find, just from their conversations with men?
Yeah. You know what's really interesting is one of the most common things that men tell me they're looking for is kindness. Like, that is a very simple thing. And you'd think, well, most people are kind. Most women are kind. But they're not getting that. They're not getting that feeling that women are actually that kind to them anymore. There's a lot of narrative out there, actually, that men are kind of bad creatures. You know, there's this whole narrative of like, I'd rather the bear than a man. So I think a lot of men are actually feeling not comfortable in their masculinity a lot anymore. As much as there's this like, you know, narrative again and this agenda of sort of the Andrew Tates of the world that are saying, you know, this is how to be a man and, you know, only go for this type of woman. I think the underlying thing is that men do want to feel that they are able to lead to some extent, but lead in a partnership again. So you're making decisions together, but also if the man's got a vision for the way he wants his life, the way he wants his children brought up, you know, the type of school that he wants them to go to, the area that they live in, and these sort of things, that a woman is quite happy to kind of take his guidance perhaps on those things. But compromise, you know, compromise and cooperation. I think that's the key thing. And respect. I think respect is everything to a man. And again, I don't think a lot of men are feeling particularly respected today.
I think, you know, it's funny that kindness is like my number one on my list.
Yeah, it's literally been the number one thing that every man I speak to.
It's number one on my list. And it's twofold, right? It's, if I want kindness, why am I not picking kind people? Accountability, right? Most guys know what they're picking.
Yeah.
They've accepted what they're picking. So when it comes down to these experiences that you've had, I think kindness now, when you're actually, you know, I think guys will date until they are ready to really get married, and then our wants would
change.
Put it this way, they don't change, because we always know what it takes to go and look for a wife. We know that from a very young age. The reality is most of us know we're not ready yet, so we'll go and do all the other stuff. Our wants will be the fornication, the fun, the da-da-da-da-da. But don't ever get it twisted. That same guy that's running around knows what he's looking for in a wife. So what he's been looking for is a good time. In turn, he's received a good time. Maybe to the detriment of other people who were looking for something serious, but he was always in a good time mode, right? When I'm looking for a wife, I know the settings. So when you hear a man talking about kindness, he's never asked none of the previous people to be kind because he knows what he's looking for. But now he's putting bricks down. Kindness is number one, because if I'm going to protect you, if I'm going to provide for you, if I'm going to pour into you, men don't ask for much.
No, they really don't.
Yeah? And I think something as simple as kindness, for that to be on my list, for that to be on a lot of men's list that you're helping out, it's because it's rare. You don't say things that you know all over the place. Yeah. Right? You don't hear men say, oh, I really find someone to sleep with. Yeah. That's never a man's problem. No. It's kindness. And I'm talking about a man who's looking for a wife, not a man that's looking for a girlfriend. Yeah. Right? A man that's looking for a wife. Kindness, because it's the texture of the bricks that we want to lay. Right?
And it's not just to you, it's to other people as well, right? That's how you perceive
Yeah,
it.
you can't turn on kindness to me because if it's not, listen, any rhythm you have, you're going to bring that here.
Yeah.
Are you kind anyway? There's none of this, I've always said I ain't special.
Oh.
There's nothing about me that's special enough that you're gonna be just kind to me. I ain't that nice. I'm sorry. If you ain't kind anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be cool because you're kind to me and no one else. Well, I can't walk around with you being mean to everyone else and you're lovely to me.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense. You're not a kind person. Yeah, just because you have it in you doesn't mean it's on you. You see what I'm trying to say? So for me, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
So what do you think is like shows a woman is unkind?
If I come to my woman and I share an issue, and then she makes it about her. Yeah, but when I did this,
Interesting.
babe, you had the whole day to tell me how you felt. This is my moment, and you snatched my moment away from me and made it about you. That's not kind, because it's about you in this moment when you didn't bring up the conversation. I had to learn that myself. That when somebody brings up something, my first defense mechanism can't be, well, how I feel or how I've been feeling, because I didn't bring up the conversation. I think whoever brings up the conversation, this is their moment. Don't steal their moment away from them. So I think that's an act of that's not an act of kindness to me. Simple things. It'll be the simple things for guys. Do you care if I've eaten?
My dad always says the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So that's one thing.
Do you care if I've eaten? Do you care how I slept?
Right.
Do you
Just
care?
checking in.
Do you care? It's just about care. A man, everything about men is for women. Everything about us. Everything. We say it proudly. I'm doing this for a girl. I'm doing this for my wife. And that's why we go out there. Men love difficult times. We love hard work. We love the grind because it makes us feel like men. Our issue is if we're going through all of this and the person we're doing it for
Doesn't seem to really acknowledge you as a person.
even just thinks,
Yeah.
oh, this is what you should be doing.
Right.
Oh, well, guess what? See what everyone else is doing.
So a little appreciation.
Appreciation is all a man needs. I saw a video, right? And it'd be interesting to see what you think about this. I shared it. It says men don't need relationship therapy. All they need is gratitude. Men need therapy because some of the things we need therapy for isn't down to us. It's down to our upbringing. It's down to traumatic experiences. That's life therapy. Relationship therapy, men just need appreciation. There's nothing a man won't do if he's appreciated. Nothing. For his woman. Nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not the appreciation that you want to give. It's the appreciation that I need.
What does appreciation look like to you then?
I think appreciation is kindness. I think it's paying attention. I think it's where is your attention mainly. I know women who have a man who check their phone before they say good morning, lying next to him. I was having a conversation with my friends the other day about, and I posted it. Someone sent it to me, and the comment was, and this it would be interesting for you to ask guys. When a man sees a woman's social media and she's got 70k followers, it feels like, oh, here we go. I'm gonna have to compete with 70,000 people now. Yeah,
Eyes on her,
and this is a beautiful
complimenting
woman.
her all the time.
Yeah, beautiful woman, right? If I meet a beautiful woman that's got 500 followers, do you know what I feel like I found? A treasure.
Yeah.
I'm like, only 500 people know about this.
Yeah, so when I tell her she looks beautiful, she's going to really appreciate and receive it.
I feel like I found a diamond in the rough. No one knows about this person yet? Me? And do you know what's funny? It's like, it's just constant between like groups of friends that I have. That when they find someone like that, especially on social media, it's like, it makes them say, wow.
Yeah.
A beautiful woman with 100k followers don't make the man say wow.
He's not constantly seeking validation from other men as well.
But exactly. Now, it doesn't mean nothing about their character. It just means that you just feel like, wow, men don't like competing for your attention. Do you know what I mean? So what would you say women are struggling with? When you're talking to women, and what are they looking for? Like, what are some of the things that women are looking for in the dating market?
Yeah, good question. I think, people that I'm dealing with in matchmaking, they tend to focus quite a lot on finding an equal, in the sense of, if they've done quite well professionally, they want someone who's done equally as well professionally. If they've done well education-wise, they want someone who's done just as well education-wise. So it's always kind of like based on someone who's, kind of doing well in life, established, comfortable financially. So there is still quite a lot of focus on that sort of, financial stability that I think women are still looking for, even when they're in a good financial position themselves. You would almost say, if a man's financially well off, then he doesn't need a woman that's financially well off, because obviously his role is to then think, well, I can provide. Whereas a woman is very much like, well, I don't want a man who's going to expect to be a house husband. And I'm like, what man has ever told you that he wants to be a house husband because you earn six figures? Like, that's just ludicrous to me.
But where do you think they're getting that from? Where are they getting that from? Because it's not one person saying it. It's
I hear it a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So where are they getting it from, that if they earn the money, that the man is just going to sit at home and just wait for them to come back and spend their money?
No, it honestly, it really baffles me, because I said, do you not know the nature of men for you to even make that assumption? But there does seem to be that kind of assumption that a lot of women have now, once they get to this point of being in a good financial position. They're almost afraid of, A, the man's going to be super intimidated by their success and not comfortable with it, and is going to kind of try and sabotage their success, or B, he's actually going to try and sponge off them. So there's that kind of block that I need to work through with women quite a lot. And I think, the thing is, they want, a lot of time women come to me with sort of mid-30s, around that age, and then the sort of biological clock is ticking.
Oh, that's a touchy subject.
It is a touchy subject.
So how do you navigate that with women in their 30s?
Yeah, I mean,
as a woman as well, right? I think their guards should be down with you.
Yeah.
Is it?
Like, for example, yesterday I had a call with a woman who is 41, wants children, and wants a man around her age, but she has all these other requirements. She has to be at least a six-figure earner, at the very least, if not more. She's from an Asian background, so he needs to be of a certain caste as well, which I don't really deal with that, because it's very not progressive. But so I'm kind of saying to her, like, where are you going to make a compromise now? Because you've got all of these criteria that are set. You're 41, and it's almost like this delusion of like, well, so what if I'm 41? You haven't got all the time in the world to have a family. And a man, she's like, well, I'm not going to pay for the matchmaking. The man should always pay. So I said, but the thing is, if a man...
The matchmaking, what do you mean?
For the matchmaking service, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, but if a man...
But she's come to you.
Yeah, but I said, I'll be totally honest, and someone won't like me saying this. But if a man comes to me and pays me a fee for matchmaking, he wants his ideals. His ideals is not me to match him with a woman at 41 if he wants to have a big family. That's just the truth of the matter, So I said to her, therefore, you almost need to pay the fee so I can find people who are open to it, because they haven't come, asking for their ideals. Do you see what I mean? Then they might be a little bit more open to it. But sorry, just back to your question.
Like what are some of the struggles that women are having?
Yeah.
When they're looking, for...
They're told not to settle. This is what has been told so much, all over social media. Don't settle. And again, it's this very kind of selfish mentality of like, get as much of your list as you can possibly get, because, you deserve it, girl. And I think this is the wrong message.
You deserve it, girl. Clearly the Americans.
I think it's the wrong message, because I think that, things like women not considering a mechanic, not considering a guy that's got his own business, but he might be like a woman yesterday. I couldn't possibly be with a taxi driver. Why not? He's a hard-working man. He earns decent money. He owns his own home. He's got the time for you. Why would that be a problem? If you're a woman that's financially solvent yourself, why has it got to be a guy in a suit in the city? As much as that is the crowd that I tend to work with, I try to really open up women to dating outside of some of these strict preferences that they have, because they seem to have one idea of what a good man looks like today. This whole TikTok trend, looking for a guy in finance, 6'5", blue eyes, all that. Sometimes this is what a lot of women are buying into.
Why do you think people can't fathom the fact that they are average?
No one likes to think of themselves average, do they, this day and age?
I know we don't like to think of that, but everything we do in our behavior is average for most people.
Yeah.
Right? So where does it come from that people think that they deserve something better than them?
Social media. It's the lens, it's the algorithms showing them all of this fantastic lifestyle, the 5-star holidays, the vacations, the cars, the homes.
But these are things that men and women can do by themselves. You don't need to get with someone else, right? To go on a holiday, to go on a vacation, to do all these things. So when you meet, I'm just asking a question. When you meet someone, why is it their responsibility to give you something that clearly you've got full autonomy to go and have these experiences by yourself? So is it more that I just want this person to finance that for me when I clearly earn my own money to do this? What is it?
I think it's almost like looking down upon people that are not at that level. So if they're at that level, they're looking down on someone that's not at that level as not good enough for them. It's not so much that they want that person to provide, although there are some women who are obviously looking for that lottery ticket of a man that's going to take them out of, hustling every day for whatever it is that they're doing to not having to work. There's a lot of this talk of, well, my money's my money and his money's our money and all of this. But again, I just think it's a very selfish mentality, and I just don't see how people are going to. What's the figure? It's like 40 or 56% of women are going to be childless by 2030. Like, that's a disturbing statistic to me, because I don't believe 56% of women don't want children.
Yeah.
They're just not finding partners. But well, what is it that you're looking for? Because again, just the request that I get. I sent someone yesterday, again, a client, multimillionaire businessman, good looking, right age, 30s. Oh, I like beards. The guy can grow a beard, for God's sake, She literally said no because he doesn't have a beard, and because she likes a guy a bit more bigger built.
Hold on.
He can go to the gym and grow a beard, for goodness sake. So you're turning down a perfectly good man who is a catch for most women because he doesn't have a beard and he's not got the build, when that can change if it needs to.
I mean, I don't want to make it just about women, but is there a thing, right, where when people are actually confronted with what they've asked for, it makes them feel inadequate? Because there's this internalization of I'm not good enough all of a sudden, because people write down these things and this is what I want. It's like, when you are in front of a beautiful mansion, a beautiful home, right? It's intimidating. You just walk. When you walk in, you take off your shoes because this thing just tells you that this is what's required here.
Yeah.
Right? There's an intimidation, and I think some people are actually afraid to meet.
They're not ready. They're not ready.
They're not ready, but they're afraid to actually meet, because you know what? What you want does it points out your flaws. Yeah, it points out your flaws when you are in front of what it is that you say you want. It makes you look at yourself. It's like, I remember being young and I seen an attractive girl before I even went over there. Do you know the preparation? All right, dust yourself off. Do you know what I mean? Make sure that the clips are thing. You know what I mean? Socks are, like, you fix yourself because you respect what's in front of you. When you don't respect what's in front of you, you turn up confident. That's why sometimes I say to women, don't confuse confidence for as
competence
as competence.
Yeah.
Because a lot of confident men aren't forward, like they're not gonna be like, this ain't the movies. When a confident man, hey yo, come here girl, let me talk to you.
Yeah.
And that's not confidence. This big dick
bravado,
energy
that's
thing.
bravado, yeah.
Like, do you want big dick energy or do you want someone with a big dick? Like,
or a big heart.
I mean, hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying this energy thing, it's like people think that it's attributed to a behavior. And I'm telling you, it's not. You either have a big penis or you don't. But it doesn't mean that you lack any confidence, because one thing men do very well, right? If I'm not the handsome guy, I'm gonna be the money guy. If If I'm not the money guy, I'm going to be
the funny guy.
The funny guy. If I'm not the funny guy, I'm going to be the guy that works out.
Yeah.
I'm going to find where I can be strong and get attraction.
Yeah. And any one of those things can make you attractive to a woman. Absolutely.
Exactly. But there's this thing where it's like, you want the energy, but why don't you just want the competence? Why don't you want the behavior? Why can't, I think a lot of good men are going to be nervous about approaching someone that they really like, because you want the person. I say to women all the time, you don't want the man that don't care, that pulls up to you, that just don't care. You don't want him. You want the guy that checks his peripheral, he checks the landscape, he makes sure that his approach it's important to him.
Yeah.
What he says to you,
he doesn't want to mess it up.
He doesn't want to mess it up, because that's someone that's got good intention for you. Do you know what I mean? I've been both guys.
Yeah. And you know what? I think actually one of the key things, take away all the other aspects of tick list, it's the women are chucking the men away too soon because of this instant chemistry thing that they want and it's just, to me, it's unrealistic to say that your future husband, that sparks are going to fly on the first date.
It's movies.
It is. And this is what happens. One day, there was no chemistry. It's like, you have to build to create chemistry. You don't just get it like that. It's this entitlement. It's this kind of like, I want everything now. If it's not now, straight away, then it can't be right. And that's just not true.
Are people struggling to be honest with what they can get? Because
I don't think they are.
Because there's one thing to say, I want this or whatever. I've always believed, your level approaches you most of the time. That's your level. That is your level. Your level approaches you most of the time. I don't care about that one person that you hung out with and you had a good time with, whatever. Yeah, we can all go to bloody Marbella for the weekend, but we don't live there.
Right.
Where am I going to be most of the time? Like, England, rain, snow, miserable, dreary. But I've chosen this because that's...
It's like the law of averages. You've got to kind of average it out. Okay, I might have got attention from a 10 once, and they maybe just wanted me for a bit of fun.
Right.
But I get attention from a 6.
The level is who wants to be intentional with you. That's the level.
Right.
I always say to people, that's the level. The people, majority of the time, that want to be intentional. And the reality is, you might not be attracted to these people, but you might have to look in the goddamn mirror. How dare you?
But no, it's
people
true.
Be out here believing in themselves.
Yeah, but you know what,
Stop
friends?
believing in yourself.
It's the friends, though. The friends, I think, to blame a lot of time as well. I think friends always kind of like, oh no, you can do better. Before even just allowing you the space to get to know somebody. I think before you go running to tell your friends and show your friends the pictures, take time to try to get to know somebody. Make your own decision on them.
I think what I admire about you and what separates you from a lot of people is you've got testimony. You're in a relationship. Are you engaged, married?
Yeah. Engaged.
You're
3 kids.
engaged. You've got 3 beautiful girls?
1 boy, 2 girls.
1 boy, 2 girls. My bad. You got 1 boy, 2 girls. You got a family. You are walking in and experiencing what you want other people to have. There are people out here that want better for people that damn sure can't get it themselves. And I'm saying, why do we listen to these people? Because it's theory.
Yeah.
You're selling theory. You are selling what you're walking in. That's why I've got you on here, because it's important. This ain't about who's popular and all this stuff. This is about listening to the right people. Why do you, the last question I'll ask is, why have we gone away from, because obviously it's all dating apps, and I kind of want to, I've got 2 questions actually. The first one is, why is it hard for us to hook up our friends? Why is it we no longer have this community of, man, listen, man, I met this really cool girl, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm at the game, do you know what I mean? But bro, she's cool. I like this girl's energy, spirit. I was talking to my boy the other day, whose partner passed away. Got 3 boys. And, he's very successful, killing it right now. And And I said to him, bro, I know a lot of women, man. I need to line you up with someone. Because that was my first instinct. Because he shouldn't be on no dating app. He shouldn't be on none of this stuff. He should be like, where's the community that protects people in that arena? We can party together, we can do this together. Why can't we make sure that no one's left out, no one's left behind? Why can't we, like, who are we around that we've got no options for our friends?
True. I think maybe some element of it. Do you think some people like to keep people as a sort of backup though, just in case?
Interesting. You know, it could be, but I would like to think that even if you got a couple of those, you still got other good people in your life that you can be like, hey.
I think it's always nice to keep, in mind, and absolutely I say the same. Like if you're single, I always say to people, look, make sure you let everybody you know that you're looking and to keep you in mind. Because sometimes people just don't think that, you need the help. Or do you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're doing fine. You don't seem like you're bothered about meeting somebody. And I
mean, most of the time they probably tell people, I ain't looking for no man. I ain't looking for no. Everything about them is looking for somebody. The outfit you're wearing says you're looking for somebody. Hello. Yeah.
You know what it is though? We don't do as much gatherings anymore. That was the way. Just like a nice gathering, house parties and stuff.
I think people are. I just think that. It's just the music don't even bring us together no more.
Don't even get me started about the music.
Creating keeps you dancing by yourself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? Like, now you put the slow jams on. All right, let's go and get our coats. It's time to go. What? Back in the day, that was your chance. What you're telling me, Doreen?
Right. Yeah. The slow dance at the end of the night. Yeah.
You ever have some shoulder blade at 2 a.m. Come on. Don't do that no more. It's all TikTok. It's all having a good time at home. Do you know what I mean? Last thing is, obviously you're a matchmaker. What is your opinion on dating apps?
I think they can be useful if used in the right way. Just don't abuse them. I think you have to be strategic about the way that you use them. And I would just say, try to get off the apps, on the phone, out on a date as soon as possible. I
hosted a wedding for a beautiful couple. And again, I don't really like hosting weddings, but because I know them, I was like, absolutely, like, when I know you, I'll absolutely do it because I feel like there's a natural connection, But I hosted their wedding. They literally said they met on Hinge. They were both one was on there for a month and the other one was on there for a week. But they knew what they went on there looking for something.
Right.
I think a lot of people get caught up in
the Candy Crush game. Yeah.
How many do you get?
It's just a game, They're gamified. It's been gamified.
And it's that dopamine, right? They just ooh. And again, people really think. You said it earlier. People really think that they have options because of the attention they're getting. But options are the intention, not the attention. It's who's intentional in your life about you. Who's crazy about you? Who cares if you slept well, who you've eaten well, and all the other stuff? Who really cares? Count those people. Count those people, not the amount of DMs you're getting.
Right.
Do you see what I'm trying to say? So, if you've got any advice, and first of all, if you've got any advice for people that are looking for love, they may feel like their moment's gone. They may have been with the love of their life. That didn't work out for whatever reason. What hope can you give to people that are still searching?
I just think, look to build a friendship first. I think the best relationships are built on a friendship. To say, don't look for that immediate spark. Just, if somebody seems like a good person, keep them in your life, get to know them, give them a chance. And also, don't just get too hung up on one person at a time. I think that's one thing that can happen is too quickly that you invest. So, keep your options open until that person shows you that they're serious, and that they really have those intentions.
And if people want to get in contact with you and get your amazing services, a woman who's actually engaged and got pick-me, 2 girls, 1 boy. If you want some of that action, where can people reach you?
Through the website, cupidinthecity.com, or you can also send me a message on Instagram, just my name on Instagram.
See, this is one of the good contacts I've got in my phone. I don't know about the rest of the interviews that I've got coming up, but we'll see how they go. Siobhan, thank you. I love you loads.
Love you.
I'm always here for you if you ever need.
Thank you, same.
Yes?